Hey YouTube, this is Dean making another vid. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button. Also, please consider subscribing, as it is very much appreciated. Just a bit of a discussion piece on quartzite, and this is mainly for Australians because while flint is becoming a little bit more available here in Australia, there are a couple of sources of flint around. You can get it from Rocky Instincts, although I've found that his website is down at the moment and I'm finding it very difficult to contact him. So yeah, you might not be able to get flint through Rocky Instincts anymore at the moment, but there is a bloke on eBay at the moment selling flint nodules like that. That one cost me $40 for a 2 kilo piece, so $20 a kilo posted, which is not bad. Yeah, but for most of the time you will be finding quartzite. It's around everywhere, and you will probably be, if you're into flint and steel in Australia, you really should call it stone and steel, because most of the time you won't be using flint. I went a little bit silly. I bought heaps of it. I've probably got 20 or 30 kilos at least of flint. Well, I know I've got 7 kilos just sitting here, a 5 kilo lot there and a 2 kilo lot there. Plus another bucket full, probably another 10 kilos in bucket just there. I've got more inside. But anyway, yeah, I like my Aussie flint, but for today's discussion, quartzite is probably the stone we're most likely going to be using because it's everywhere. I've really found this is the stone you'll probably be finding around. Quartz or quartzite. Quartz crystals. This is what quartz crystal looks like. And that's quartzite. That's how I differentiate quartz stones. Quartzite is the rock. Quartz is the crystal. So they spark about the same. Quartz is just, it tends to be more rounded. I can get it to spark. But it tends to blunt out very quickly. It's fragile. It doesn't work as well. But if this is what you've got, this is what you got. Work with what you've got. Quartzite. I love this stone. It's a brilliant stone for us. We have plenty of it. I have found 5 or 6 boulders in my yard. I've probably got 300 kilos at least of it. For me, it is my working day-to-day stone, and I have embraced it. There's lots of different variations of it. I found it's more variations of quartzite than there is of flint. This is a red type. That's what it looks like on the outside. That's what you see. But when you break it up onto the inside, you'll see these quartz crystals, but it has a red, I think that'd probably be iron oxide, giving it that red colour. This is a quartzite, just the typical grey, lots of quartz crystals running through it. There's all different types. I've got others over there. There's a mottled marble-like quartz crystal, a quartzite. Yeah, plenty of variations in it. Don't feel like you're being disadvantaged by quartzite because it sparks every bit as good as flint. It's on a sharp edge. Everyone who's been watching my channel knows I use this all the time in my demonstrations. It fractures the same as flint. It breaks up spalls very easily. tend to put a cut glove on because you tend to cut your hands. Fractures up into those nice, beautiful fracture pieces. That just gave me all these sharp edges. Couple of hits with a ball peen hammer and away you go. I use the ball mainly because it focuses the energy onto the thing and fractures up. I really have embraced it. The only thing I found with my quartzite is the edges burn out a little bit quicker. That's the one disadvantage I found with quartzite. Dan apparently has quartzite that doesn't do that. I haven't been able to test it. But his lasts longer. I've seen it on videos. He can strike 80 or 90 times on the one edge. Just sit there striking and it doesn't burn out. But mine seems to blunt out very quickly. As just striking there, that's already blunting out. It will eventually get to the point where it's no good anymore and you have to bop it. So that's a really bad platform, but it sharpens that up a little bit. See how it's got that nice edge again. And start sparking again. Yeah, so just a little bit of a talking piece on quartzite. It sparks really well. This is flint, just for grey flint. You honestly see very little difference between the two. I do find my Aussie flint lasts longer. They're about the same Mohs. I haven't had them tested. I don't have the ability to do that. This is black. But from what I know, quartzite and flint run 7 Mohs. The only flint that is different is Norfolk flint, and it's 8 Mohs. And unless you get it tested, you don't really know. You're only guessing. So yeah, it's as simple as that. As far as I know, all quartzite runs at 7. So yeah, and giving a visual testing of it, and under the hammer and that, I can't tell the difference between how hard it is, really. You can tell it hard stone by the way it sounds a bit, but my quartzite doesn't really ring. My flint does, but my quartzite doesn't ring like, yeah. It's just different. We've had 3 days of rain here. Everything's wet, so yeah. But yeah, just wanted to a little bit of a ramble, I suppose. I'm a bit of a fanboy about this quartzite. I really like it because it was free. I found it in my backyard. I've got lots of it. But yeah, this is my working stone. I basically use it all the time. Fooling around with it, but yeah, it's such a good stone because you can find it anywhere. Now that I know what it looks like, I'm finding as I'm walking around, I'm picking it up all the time now, and yeah, it's just everywhere. I find it just in car parks and everywhere I go. I'm always finding quartzite. Yeah, it's as simple as that. But overall, I find it's on par with flint as far as its sparking ability goes. It fractures very similar to flint. My quartzite doesn't. The edge burns out quicker. That's the only thing. But in a head-to-head basis, I don't feel disadvantaged by owning quartzite. And I'm quite happy to put quartzite in my kits, as far as it goes. But that being said, I do love my flints too. So yeah, but it's not called flint and steel for silly reasons. Yeah, but that's mainly, I think, that came from England because they had so much flint available to them. But yeah, in other areas where flint isn't available, this would be the stone I'd be looking for as far as it goes. And I wouldn't be feeling disadvantaged by it, by having it. Yeah, you'll find you can get embers with this stuff, no worries whatsoever. Like it works just as well as far as it goes because it sparks very well. And when you actually look into it now, I've been looking into it. You look up quartz stones, quartzite, and flint is a part of the quartz family. So yeah, they're all in the same category of stones, and they have very similar grain structures and crystallization structures. So yeah, that's why they're all in that category. And petrified wood's in the same sort of category. That's why it's so hard. Yeah, they all run about that 7 to 8 Mohs scale. So yeah, yeah. And when I'm saying 7 Mohs, it might be 7.2 or 7.5. Like I'm just averaging it out at 7. So yeah. But anyway, that's a bit of a ramble about quartz and my love affair of it. Yeah, it's a fantastic stone. Really good if you can get onto it. And landscaping supplies, that'd be the one I'd be looking at if you can get onto boulders of it, because they would not be that expensive. The only thing is with landscaping supplies, they may want you to buy a ton of it, which could cost you a couple of $100. But a ton, which would be probably like a pallet with 2 or 3 boulders on it. If you think about that, even if you paid $200 for that, three or 4 boulders of that, or a metric ton of quartzite, that would do you for the rest of your life. You'd never have to worry about sparkable stones ever again. But I wouldn't suggest buying it as such, because you can always find this stuff around. And even finding one, like I've got rocks over there. I don't like moving the camera, but because it's jerky. But I've got rocks there. That one there is as big as it's that round, and it'd weigh, like it'd weigh 5 kilos by itself, like, so yeah, it's at least as big as this petrified wood, which is 5 kilos, so, and I've got pieces this big still downstairs that I haven't broken up that weigh 20 kilos. And yeah, you can easily find pieces this big, no dramas whatsoever. And yeah, like you can break them up and have working pieces of quartzite this big. And that's not hard to find, like you find them everywhere. And even the smaller bits, even a bit this big, they're in car parks or just walking along the side of the road. You see a piece of quartzite, like you'll see a rock like that sticking out. And my son now points me out, "Oh, Dad, look at that." And I say, "Yeah, Caleb, go and pick that up, because that's a piece of quartzite." And he knows now, especially this mottled stuff. He'll see this mottled grey colour, and he'll pick that up straight away, and it'll be sparking straight away. Anyway, that's a bit of me rambling on about quartzite, and yeah, just for us here in Australia, you probably be using this stuff more than flint. But yeah, flint is available, but yeah, quartzite's probably the working stone that we'll have most of the time. That or jasper or petrified wood. But jasper's another subject unto its own, and petrified wood is another subject, but petrified wood's too expensive. Yeah, and I think petrified wood is a travesty to be breaking up and using as a sparking stone because it's too beautiful. Yeah, I wouldn't be breaking it up unless you are on a property that has so much of it and you're only breaking up bits that are not very figured, like they're just lumps of stone that aren't figured like that. Like to break that up would be a travesty, just to use it as a sparking stone. But anyway, off on a tangent. Thanks for watching.